a lot of those things are set up so so everyone makes money but the person. But because I did it through my production company, I directed it, I wrote it, and everything.
Nice.
So I was able to sort of like control the budget and actually do pretty good on it.
Ryan Long is a comedian and filmmaker currently living and working in New York City, who has amassed more than 1 million views on the web across platforms. He is the host of the Boys Podcast and releases a comedy sketch on his website every Monday morning. Ryan was the creator and star and showrunner of the hit digital series Topia on CBC Comedy, That Guy on CBC Comedy, and the series Ryan Long is Challenged on Byte TV. Since clubs have shut down in America, Ryan has redirected his focus and figured out different ways in order to generate revenue. Today, we will find out what he's doing in order to get to that.
Well, when I moved to, like, I was in Canada, and I just moved here like almost a year now. And so when I was in Canada, I was kind of doing traditional broadcasting, like I was working in television, and I was even like directing commercials and like all sorts of stuff like that. So when I moved to New York, I kind of saw who was making money how and stuff like that. So I have a podcast that has a Patreon, and then I also do ads from that. I release my normal podcast on iTunes and YouTube, and then every 2 weeks I do an extra episode on the Patreon that you can subscribe to and get that. But then on top of that, a lot of people just donate to your Patreon to like support you and support the videos and all that sort of stuff too.
What video do you think would probably have like, I guess, kind of major staple or major name for like your new fans or people that are just kind of getting to know you?
Yeah, so it all kind of like added up. I kept growing and growing, and then I had like 2 or 3 big viral ones, but there's this one, like the woke racist one, that had like 10 million views or something across platforms. So the thing about that was that one kind of went viral on YouTube, which kind of kickstarted my YouTube channel. So now like I do pretty good on the like YouTube revenue and stuff too. My major streams, like, and I moved here at a different point in my life, like I own a house and stuff like that. So like that's a stream. I've released some albums, and then when I moved to New York, they got picked up at Sirius XM in America, which is actually like, those are pretty good royalties. Then there's like live shows on top of that. One of the things I was doing was I owned a little part of this website called thehardtimes.net, and we were doing...
I had no idea that you...
Yeah. So it's like a cool website, like it's punk rock satire site, and then they just sold it, so I like got like some money when they sold it. But for a long time, we were doing kind of the same videos I'm doing now, but I was doing them on that channel.
Yeah, I know you did the bouncer one. I believe there was a bouncer one and the chef one.
That was from Topia. So that was, do you know like BBC?
Yeah.
Like Canada has one called the CBC, and I had 2 digital series on that network.
Nice.
But I did them all myself, so a lot of people like don't. A lot of those things are set up so so everyone makes money but the person. But because I did it through my production company, I directed it, I wrote it, and everything.
Nice.
So I was able to sort of like control the budget and actually do pretty good on it. Like one of my biggest advice for people that are going to be in entertainment in general is figure out a way in your 20s to have some money that you'll be fine in your 30s. So, and it doesn't even have to be anything to do with entertainment. So I think the old thing was like, just work hard on this and then it'll eventually work out. But the problem is that like looming pressure of, especially if you're living in New York, and then all that stuff starts to make you be like, things need to happen too fast, and then you don't do it right. So I think if you kind of separate you're making money from your this, and then you can kind of say, okay, this is like the art, this is the comedy, and not worry about 20 bucks here and there. In comedy, you can kind of then think of the money as a tip. So instead of showing up and being like, this is a job, you kind of show up and you're like, I'm here to get better at comedy, and if they pay me, like, cool. If you think like, I need money, you're gonna make like weird decisions.
Yeah, so you more or less, so COVID definitely didn't really affect you so much. It just allowed you to kind of like focus more on your other realms. And
well, no, I mean, I moved to America to do stand-up comedy. And when stand-up got canceled, and there's no guilt like everyone else is like passing me or anything like that, I was able to just be like, okay, I'm just gonna focus on the podcast. Let me figure out this. Let me fix my website. Let me make sure that the Patreon's set up right.
So you literally just went every single alternate stream of revenue. You're like, forget this. I'm just gonna focus.
Well, you're kind of. I mean, I think that we're looking at it a little differently.
All right, tell me how.
In that you're thinking, you're thinking of it as like, oh, I was like, oh, I can make more money here.
No, you weren't looking at the money. You were looking at the art. It just happened to bam and like make it that way because like, the YouTube videos, the other things going viral, it just happened to be when you focus all your time on that. It wasn't specifically looking for money. It's just like I feel like when you're really good, the money comes.
I think so. Yeah.
Somebody memed like 3 of your jokes, so like your jokes have been memed.
Yeah, everyone keeps memeing me.
Had like, what was it, like 50,000 I think shares?
Dude, people keep like meming. Dude, the amount of people on the internet that take your content and don't post it. You know, like today, okay, so I released this stock market video yesterday.
Yeah.
How YouTube works is let's say 1 million views-ish is like $10,000, something like that. So the other day I had this stock market video and it probably did like 300,000 views on my channel. And then someone ripped it, put it on like the financial Reddit, and it did like over 1 million views. It was like top of Reddit. One of the things that used to drive me so nuts is people stealing my content or jokes or whatever, and I wasn't like known enough that anyone cared, right? So they'd get away with it. Whereas now, like people do that, and then like 20 people are like, yo, that's Ryan Long's joke. I swear, like a guy in TikTok like straight up like stole my joke and put it up. Like the top comment, and then like every other comment was like, you stole from Ryan Long, and I was like, sick.
#1 comedian on TikTok.
Not anymore.
Not anymore? Are you verified on Twitter yet?
That's the only one I'm not. I know, I can. I'm trying, but they won't verify. They haven't verified people
because of COVID.
So there's a lot of.
So COVID has ruined that one aspect.
No, they already weren't doing it, but then even now, I have now what you're supposed to do is have a connection. But I didn't use Twitter forever, so I have a guy that said he can get you verified, and then they basically said like we can't do it until COVID's over because we're only verifying doctors.
I know in the past we spoke about stocks, and that was like one of the things. So like I know you were into stocks, so like you use your money for stocks. What stocks do you like fuck with heavy? Or like what stocks that you like or don't like, or like you've learned your lesson, you know?
I'm not like that crazy, but I mean there's a lot and even the pandemic, there's like a lot of money to be made. Like if you just bought the industry index or Amazon, when the crash happened, you would have doubled your money. So I mean, if you had 10 grand even saved in your bank account, you could have 20 grand now. But again, I'm not saying that's just one thing. A lot of it's just like a mindset of thinking about how to make money, I think. And a lot of people think it's kind of like a dirty way to think for artists because they're like, oh,
because it's like you're not supposed to attach the money to the art, but it's so important because without the money you can't have the art.
Yeah, and you can do so much better, right? If you even if you work like an awesome job in your 20s, or you know, do some crazy, you know, whatever, starting companies, do whatever you need to do. And then if you can be in your 30s and you're like, I have a guaranteed like 30 grand a year just from nothing, that sort of like support can make you do so much better.
Yeah, because it's just like they have this concept where you just have to be a poor, starving, desperate, miserable artist in order to succeed.
No, it's not. It's like, I think that's like an old school way to think.
All right, thank you so much. We appreciate it. This has been Money in Art.